Hi everyone, how y'all doing today? And just wanted to say thank you for watching. Today we're going to talk about blood donations, which I just recently did today, even with a little sticker to prove it. And before I get into this, I just want to make something perfectly clear. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional of any kind, so I'm not here to give medical advice. I'm just here to give you a little insight into some of the experiences I've had in donating blood and trying to encourage others to make that donation as well, especially if you're someone who's never done it before and this is your first time. But at the flip side, anything I say should by no means, under any circumstance, replace advice given from your doctor or any type of medical professional. If you want to donate and you have concerns about your health, talk to your doctor. If you have specific questions related to the blood donation, I'll leave some information at the end for the New York Blood Center, or if you live outside of New York State, there's the American Red Cross, which you can reach out to and get information from them as well. But that's where you want to get your information from. So I hope this video helps, and like I said, you should always take their advice over mine, especially in up to including the general physician, who not only knows you, but is aware of your medical history and can give you the best advice that you need. With that being said, I will just come right out and flat out say it. I am an absolute wuss when it comes to needles. I am. I have no problem admitting it. It started in my childhood when I was an infant. Back then when they took blood where they did it through your finger, they had the simple plastic tube with the needle protruding. And for me, it hurt like a son of a bitch. I didn't like it, I never have, I probably never will. And when I get older, from a young teen to eventually a young adult, where I was able to make my own decisions as far as seeing doctors and stuff, I would try and avoid needles whenever I could. Even when the doctor said, you should get some blood work done. Usually I would do it, but there were moments every now and then I just said, nah, can't do that. And it would take some time before I eventually worked up the courage to actually go out and make a blood donation. I remember when I was a teen, somebody I knew from a Catholic organization I went to, a gentleman by the name of Frank, kept pushing me to do it. It was peer pressure, I didn't like it, and I don't believe in doing that. This video is by no means meant to pressure anyone. Obviously I wouldn't do that if we were face to face, so my point is, in the end, the choice is up to you. It is always up to you, whether you decide to donate or not. Like I said, I'm just here to give a little insight, and I hope it helps. I don't know what the turning point is for me. Was it a spiritual thing or a moral crisis or a situation I was in where I felt like I got to at least do it? But eventually I worked up the courage to call up the blood center, make an appointment, and donate blood. And I'll get into some of the steps involved. When you first register, you have to bring an ID, obviously, and they'll ask you some questions. And in the mail, after your donation, they send you a little card. I don't have it handy, but that card makes the registration go a little faster if and when you decide to donate a second time or more. And then they go through some preliminary questions, things about your health, about your background, and some of these things can disqualify you from actually making a donation, like if you have a tattoo, or if you have some kind of illness, or you've taken a certain type of medication. They have a list of these medications, and they keep the list regularly updated, so it's important to review the list. Don't just assume, don't just browse through it. Take the time to look at it and go through the questions thoroughly and be honest. Okay? Don't go in there with the intention of being disqualified. If that's really your objective, you think I'll do it but hope I get disqualified, you're there for the wrong reasons. You're there to do a noble thing. You're there to help people. You're there to give back. So that is the important thing to consider, because in the end it does help save lives. To be a life of someone you know, to be a life of a total stranger. But the bottom line is, that's what you're there for. So once you've registered and you've gone through the questionnaire, they have you sit down with one of their phlebotomists, and they just do a general checkup on you. They take your temperature, they check your blood pressure and your pulse, and then they do a test where they prick your finger just to get a small sample to check your iron levels. Nowadays, unlike as I explained before when I was an infant, they have a new type of spring device that when they press it to the finger, I don't know precisely how it works, but it thrusts the needle out rather quickly, so you don't even feel it. You just get a sensation. And even though it doesn't hurt, I gotta admit, that sometimes gets under my skin more than the donation itself. I can't explain it. It's like the anticipation of it. And I go through it, but the second I know that part comes, I just look away. I'm one of those who can't look, I can't watch. I always keep my eyes closed and I distract myself. And that gets me through it. And once you go through that part, then they take you down for the actual donation. Now, when it comes to donating, everybody's different. How you react to it. Some people go through it like it's nothing. It's a piece of cake. Some get a little anxiety or they get nervous. That's perfectly normal. I'm slightly nervous. One of the things that does happen is, whether it's donating blood or just routine blood work, from your doctor, is I get a little lightheadedness. And this a doctor explained to me years ago, so don't take this as advice, but supposedly when any type of fluid is being drained from your body, it causes your arteries to expand, and sometimes the blood flow doesn't get to your head like it usually should because of this expansion. And the remedy for it is just laying the body flat and angling the legs upward, and gravity brings the blood flow back to the head and it clears it up rather quickly. So does that happen all the time? No. Usually, depending on how it goes, depends on the skill of the phlebotomist. And I have to say, the phlebotomists are very skilled. They are professionals. I've never really met a bad one yet. I've met one or two that are a little, not unprofessional, but just rather insensitive, And if you're a phlebotomist watching it, I'm sure you could agree with me that sensitivity is a very important thing, because, like I said, some people, they don't take the blood donations very well. So they've made the effort to be there. The least you can do is make it comfortable for them. And for the most part, they do that, They do make it as the process as easygoing as possible. They've done it enough times, especially the really experienced ones, to know, like, when some people are a little nervous. And in the past, some people have noted that for me, and I tell them, I'm a little nervous, but it's okay, I can get through this, And I do say that with confidence. That's the key. One of the ways with dealing any type of ill effects or ill feelings you might be having when you're actually donating is communication. Talk to the phlebotomist. Sometimes I like to joke around, if it's a woman, I'll flirt a little, just innocent flirting, just to be amusing. There's a big difference between humor and being crude. Do not be disrespectful. Treat everyone there with respect, up to and including the volunteers that will be there, as well as the other people that are donating too. Because you don't want to create an awkward environment. You want it to go smoothly. So I tell them, as they're going through the preparations, I say sometimes I get a little lightheaded, and if you can recline the chair back that you're lying in and elevate the legs a little bit, they'll do that. That helps. And the other thing I do, which one doctor recommended to me, I don't remember who, is they get a cold compression pack, or just like a wet towel that's moist, not soaking wet, but just damp and cold. And by applying it to the forehead and the back of the neck, and that actually makes me feel better. So once they're actually doing the extraction of the blood, I look away and I keep the cold compression around my head, just for the relaxation purposes, and I just kind of like zone out a little bit. I just imagine things like you're running through the forest, pretend you're flying, some type of ambience in your mind to help get your mind off of these things. And to my discovery, the first time, transfusions actually go rather quickly. It only takes maybe about 5 or 10 minutes. At least that's always been the way for me. Again, everybody's different. And certain factors like gender or physical strength and size, don't be fooled. What I mean is, I've heard stories where, big muscular guys go in and, some have been known to pass out and have ill effects. And yet, one day when I was donating blood, I'd finished a donation and they were just wrapping things up. And just as I was being done, a young petite lady, probably in her early mid-20s, came in after me, donated, and then left before me. And she walked out like it was nothing. I can only imagine this woman had a very strong constitution. Again, everybody's different, so know what your limitations are, know, how you're going to react to certain things, and communicate those things so the phlebotomist and the staff can do things to make the whole procedure go smoothly. After the extraction, they have you put pressure on the area where the needle was inserted, and then they apply this type of elastic bandage. They say wear it for approximately 6 hours, and don't do any heavy lifting, especially with the arm that you donated from, and just take it easy for the rest of the day. And then they provide snacks afterwards, both water, juices, and other snacks. Some places do it different. Some get really elaborate. I've heard some places serve steak. That's never been with me. It's usually just chips and other type of snacks that you get from the vending machine to help you regain your energy. And when you're at that stage, I just say, take your time. After they donate the blood, you don't have to immediately get up. If they feel like you've had a little anxiety or you seem like you've just gotten over some nervousness, they'll say just lay there or take whatever time you need to recuperate. And then when you're ready to get up, if they still feel you can't walk on your own, they'll help you to the table. And then there, just enjoy the food and beverages and just do what you got to do and take whatever time you need to, get back to your usual self. And before you know it, you're set to go. And that's pretty much the gist of it. I recommend everyone can try and go out and donate. And some of you might be asking, how many times have I done it? Well, good question. They take a pint of blood, and a few years back, I got in the mail a special card from the New York Blood Center saying, congratulations, you have exceeded the 1 gallon mark. You have donated a gallon of blood with all the donations that you've done. So, you do the math right there. It's kind of an odd thing to think, when I'm going food shopping, I look at those big gallons of milk and I think, I donated that much blood? Wow. It seems impressive, but I'm not waving my flags either, because I've met people that have donated 13 gallons or more. They've been donating since the beginning of time and continue to do so till this day. Will I ever reach 13 gallons? Maybe one day, but it definitely ain't going to be today. But, it's not a competition, it's not a race, you're not trying to break a record, you're trying to do something noble to help people. So if you've never done it before and some of the insight I provided makes you more comfortable, that's great. Then I encourage you to go out and make that donation. There's no pressure, but I'm just encouraging you to do that. If you're still uncertain and you need more information, I would go to the New York City or the Red Cross website or talk to your doctor. There's also contact information, which I'll provide at the end of the video and in the comments section, where you can call them up and ask whatever questions you want. They're very courteous and they'll help you make a determination. And in the end, if you don't do it, if you really feel uncomfortable about it, that's fine too. The bottom line is, you gotta be willing, you gotta be comfortable to a certain degree, and just know that when you do it, you are making a difference. You are helping to save a life. Sometimes the New York Blood Center will send you a letter in the mail saying, congratulations, a donation you recently did helped save a life. They can't give you details as far as the person's name or what the condition was or the circumstances. For medical reasons, there's privacy and confidentiality, which you got to respect, and they don't reveal your information to that person either, but it's nice to know that you did a good thing and that it made a difference in somebody's life. And not to sound cliche, but the Blood Center always likes to throw this slogan around. You may not be willing to give it, but one day you might be dying to get it. Could be you, could be a family member, somebody you know. Could you imagine what it's like if people didn't donate? And since the pandemic, COVID, their blood surges have been a little low, so they're encouraging more and more people to step up and join. So I'm hoping you'll really make that step. If you've already donated and you haven't done it recently, I would encourage you to go out and make an appointment today if you can. If this is your first time, think about it, and if you really feel you can do it, go out and make that step. Make that noble step and help save a life today. Anyway, I hope you understand, and thank you for watching.